Okay, so I'm just walking away from the car park now. I'm walking down the path towards Dunnottar Castle. Now I've been down here before. I think I've actually shot this place to death. I've been here so many times. I've done sunrises, done sunsets and everything. So I've about exhausted all angles of this place. So I'm going to go down today, well this evening, and see what I can find. So I'm going to have a walk down there and I'll check in with you in just a moment. As you'll see, and there's Dunnottar Castle behind me and the steps leading down. We've got about 45 minutes before the sun is due to set. I'm going to have a quick look around. As you'll see behind me, over my right shoulder, the sky, there's a little bit of colour cast to that already. So I'm hoping that the clouds are going to catch a good light with this sunset. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have a look around. Okay, so as you will see behind me, the clouds are starting to take the colour of the sunset, so which is fantastic, because that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking exactly for that. So the clouds change colour, and I've got the camera set up here, as you'll see. I'm taking a long exposure at the moment, currently with the 10-stop filter. So I've got it on ISO 100, and the aperture that I'm using is f9. The 10-stop on the front with a circular polariser to cut out any of the glare in the sky and on the water as well. And I'm going to go for an exposure around 2-3 minutes, as I've tested it out, and that seems to be the one that's going to work the best and give me the best exposure of the image. And hopefully I'll be able to bring some of the shadows on the rocks just beneath the castle. I'll be able to bring them up slightly in post, and it'll give a little bit more sharpness to that part of the image. So we're on about 2 minutes now. I'm going to let it go to about 3.5 minutes, and then I'll stop it there. We'll see what we've got. Hopefully it'll be a good image. Like I said earlier, I've been down here so many times. I've shot pretty much from every angle possible. So now it's just coming down and finding the best light and the best conditions to shoot in down here. So I'm going to go ahead, take this shot, and I'll post it up for you and let you see. Okay, so I've come down the steps there, as you'll see behind me. I've kind of come off the path. I've come up a little track through the grass there, and I've set up my camera here. Now the idea is I'm going to bracket the exposure. I'm going to use the 3-stop bracket, and I'm going to make a not an HDR image, but I'm going to make something that I can take the highlights and the shadows and blend them together and hopefully get a nice image out of it. What I've set up is the path. I want to get that in my shot, so it just follows you up to the castle there. So I'm going to take a shot and I'll post it up for you in just a second to let you see. Now I'm walking away from the castle. As you'll see behind me, the light has started to fade a little bit. If I turn around towards the monument, there is a little bit of the sunset there, but I don't think I'm going to get much more out of that clouds over there. So I'm just going to have a quick walk around the coastal path just so I can get a different angle of the castle and maybe do some long exposures around there as well. To say there's not going to be very much light left, it is summer, so I think it's going to need a little bit of a longer shutter speed, maybe a bit more of a longer exposure, maybe about 3 minutes maybe, just to get a little bit more out of the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a walk around here and watch out for the rabbit holes in the grass that almost just fell down. I'll have a walk around here and I'm going to take an image from around about here, as you'll see behind me. So I'm going to have a quick walk around here, and when I find something I will show you. Found my next image. I've set the camera up here. I've got the grass down in the foreground, that'll be my foreground interest, and then the way that the rocks on the beach kind of give you that curve, I think that'll add some interest to the image as well. So we're kind of losing a little bit of light. I've got the camera set up here. We're currently on a 25-second exposure, aperture of f9, and also ISO 100. And with that, it will make sure that the image is exposed correctly, as the little icon is in the center, which means it's correctly balanced. If we look at the histogram as well on here, we'll take that up, and if we look at the histogram, it's quite balanced there as well. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this shot and I'll post it up for you. Okay, so before heading home, I have set up a composition, just my final composition, one last one before I go home. It's starting to get dark and I've had to put the camera into manual focus and focus on Dunnottar Castle manually, as the autofocus in the camera won't focus anymore because it's a little bit dark. So for my shot, I've got this grassy bank in the foreground. I've got the leading line of the beach as you've seen previously. Just taking you to the castle. I've got the castle in the background. We're going for aperture of f11, ISO 100, and I'm going to put the camera into bulb mode. Now for my camera, as it is a touch screen, when you're on the live view mode, if you tap the screen, for my camera I have got on the 2-second self timer, so once I touch the screen it takes 2 seconds. It will take the image as if you were using a remote shutter release until you touch the screen again. You need to be really careful and not touch the screen too hard because you'll move the camera and that'll cause some image shake. which is not what we want. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tap that there, it'll start counting down and it'll start my exposure, as you'll see on the screen here. So I'm going to expose it for around a minute, and hopefully that will make sure that I get everything in focus and it will be exposed correctly. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this image, and then once I've taken the image I will check back in with you. Okay, so I had to end the video there as it was getting too dark and the GoPro wasn't able to handle it properly. I've come home, I've had a quick look at some of the images that I took on tonight's shoot, and I am quite happy with the ones that I got. So it was a good experience. I've learnt from it a little bit, which is always good when you go out on a landscape shoot. It's always great to learn something from it. If this is your first time to my channel, if you like this video, hit the like button below. Also, if you've got any comments or questions, pop them in the comments section below. I'll reply to them as quickly as possible. Also, if you'd like to subscribe, hit the subscribe button and you'll also be notified when I upload future videos. So I'd like to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next video.